Arnolds UK this weekend. We've got all the information you guys need. Who's competing, what are the events, and where can you guys watch it? Okay, lots of changes from the Ohio show a few weeks back. Unfortunately, a few injuries on the men's side and the women's side as well. The women's is a little bit more stable.
Yeah, the lineup there is held together a little bit better than the men's.
The men is still a very solid lineup with the Arnold champion Mitch Hooper and Thor Bjornsson both competing. So lots to look forward to there. Let's very quickly look at the lineup for both competitions.
Now, a very quick disclaimer. This information, to the best of our knowledge, is as correct as possible at the time of filming. Yeah, we have tried to scramble all this information together and it should be correct.
Okay, looking at the women's lineup first, we are starting off with the Arnold champion from 2 weeks back, Angelica Jardine. Absolutely incredible performance she had in Ohio. Looking forward to seeing how she does in the UK this weekend. Then we got my superstar Andrea Thompson. She is looking to redeem herself from the Arnold's Ohio. Lucy Underdown, who was joint second. Hannah Lindsay, who had a great performance over in America. Looking forward to seeing her again. Such an intense athlete. Melissa Peacock, absolutely incredible athlete as well. Sam Bellevue, her dumbbell performance was unbelievable. A smaller athlete, but again, holding her own against the larger women. Am I allowed to say that?
No, I don't think you should.
Rebecca Roberts, the world's strongest woman. She's going to be in action as well. Nadia Stowers, the powerhouse from America, known for her shoulder power. Looking forward to seeing her in this contest. Then the warrior Ines Carrasquillo, the brutal damage she took to her face on that frame carry, but she's brushed it off. She's a tough SOB. She's coming to compete, and always a pleasure to watch her. And finally, strong woman royalty, the three-time world's strongest woman, Donna Moore. Unfortunately, the men's side, we've had a few changes, but as far as we know, this is the lineup. Starting with the Ohio champion, Mitch Hooper. Thor Bjornsson coming back to the UK for competition. Great news for British fans. He looked really, really good in Ohio, although the pressing looks like it's not quite there. Is that going to be a factor coming in to the UK show? A man that can certainly press, the one and only Bobby Thompson. He'll be looking to perform really well in this one. Polish rising superstar Oskar Zielkowski. Be interesting to see how he does. This competition, I think, will be better suited to him than the show in Ohio. The Welsh legend Gav Bilton, he has been training hard for this one. Total focus on this show. Cannot wait to see how big Gav does. Someone I've really had my eye on recently in terms of watching his progress. He's training super hard. He's had some amazing results in competitions. Is Lucas Hatton. I think he can do very well in this show. Now, this is an interesting one for me. Maxime Boudreau picked up a small injury at the Arnold's, but he says he's coming and he feels okay. He does have some great events. I hope that lat holds out and he can perform at 100%. And then finally, a last minute replacement in this competition, the one and only Liz's favourite, Rauno Hainer.
How do these things happen? We were just saying on the live with them the other day, and I said Rauno would do it. And
Rauno is one of those guys that if he gets the opportunity, he's going to take it. And some athletes don't do that. Sometimes, sometimes athletes don't want to do that.
It's a really tricky time as well, though. Let's not forget, we're just a few weeks out from Europe's Strongest Man. A lot of the top guys are prepping for that. And
Absolutely.
then we're going into the World Show.
I don't blame people either way. I don't, nothing against the guys that just want to focus, sort of say, on World's Strongest Man coming up. I totally understand that. But likewise, sometimes you just got to take the opportunities. Rauno is towards the end of his career. He probably doesn't have that many years left. And he's been given an opportunity and he said, yes, please.
Yeah, so we're actually down to 8 men in this lineup now, which is going to be interesting. The dynamics of the lineup have definitely changed a lot.
So looking at the athletes, I mean, you have to say Mitch is the favourite of the men's contest.
Yeah, it would be silly not to, considering his consistency. And, 2 weeks ago, he won 3 of the events, was it? 3 of the 5 events?
He was unbelievably good at the Ohio show. The events are different this time round.
Yeah.
However, it was clear to see that the pressing was affecting Thor. I mean, I was amazingly impressed with Thor's deadlift, with his dinny carry, with his frame carry, all of those events looking absolutely fantastic. But you could see when it came to the stone press and the axle, the pressing isn't quite where it needs to be. And there are some very good pressers in this competition.
But there are also some very good events in this competition for Thor. So let's get into that now, and then we can analyse a little bit better. And they're starting with the Austrian Oak for the men and the American Oak for the women. So In the case of the men, they've got two options for logs. We've seen this event before. It was there last year.
Yep.
It's 195 kilos or 175 kilo log for reps in a 90-second time limit.
Okay.
Any amount of reps on the heavier log beats any amount on the lower level log or lighter log. For the women, it's the same weights as last year. So they've got the choice between a 125 kilo log for reps and a 100 kilo log for reps.
Yeah, heavy log. That is heavy. 195 kilos, 125 for the women for reps. There's not that many athletes, I think, that will get this.
So I think on the men's side, you've got to say Bobby Thompson,
Bobby,
Mitchell Hooper,
Mitch,
Lucas Hatton,
Lucas has a great chance.
potentially Gav.
Gav has never hit this kind of number in competition. However, he has been in training and he's got close a few times now. And I think if Gav can get a rep with this, it's going to be huge for him.
Yeah.
Really, really huge. I think looking at the lineup, you've got to be looking at Gav, you've got to be looking at Lucas Hatton, Maxime if he's in shape,
Yeah.
and obviously Mitch Hooper.
And Bobby
Thompson, obviously, on the press.
And on the women's side of it, I mean, she had a bit of a disaster on the dumbbell 2 weeks ago, but Andrea Thompson, I can't remember her ever losing a log for reps.
This is definitely more down Andrea's street than the dumbbell. Dumbbell is a lot more technical, a lot more explosive. We've spoken about, sometimes when you're a really great log presser, and I've said this about the men's side as well, you can rely too much on just being strong.
Yeah.
Whereas with the dumbbell, you really can't just be strong. You have to be very technical and explosive. And we saw that with Sam. She was unbelievably efficient, great technique, great use of the legs, body positioning, everything was perfect. This is much more bread and butter for the likes of Andrea. But we have Nadia Stowers, who's a great log lifter.
Inez.
We also have Inez, who's a great log lifter. So I'm expecting a battle.
I'm really excited to see what Angelica can do on this.
Yeah, we've not really seen too much in terms of...
Anything.
Yeah, she's so new, but just... I think she'll be good, but might drop points on this. Where she seems to excel is the awkward events that, it's not so much about practicing in the gym. It's just that raw strength. And I think she'll probably be good at the throwing. We'll talk about the other events as well. But this event particular, I think, those three will be coming out on top for the press.
So event number 2 is the timber carry for max distance, but it's not the frames this time.
It's the farmer's walk type event, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Now the weight for the women is £260 per hand, and for the men it's £400 per hand. It's a max distance event over 60 seconds, so they are not allowed to drop between the two lines.
So it's a bit like they did at World's Strongest Man a few years ago, where they have like a safe zone.
Yeah.
Where they can put the weight down, turn themselves, pick it up, and go again. But if they drop between those, then their go is finished.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe it's a 15-metre course, 2 lines, both ends of the farmer's implements have to go over in order to be able to put it down and turn. But once they drop, they're out. Interesting
one. I mean, Maxime Fresh, good event for him.
Great, yeah.
Andrea's great at this type of event. I think we'll see Angelica be really good at this type of event.
I think so.
Looking at her grip from the Dinnies, or the stone carry, I guess, wasn't the Dinnies, but I think she'll be very, very good.
I think so. I'm excited to see Thor do this as well. His grip seems to be in the best shape ever.
Yeah, he was carrying that frame very easily, and the Dinnies as well. Mitch Hooper, the grip is something we've worked exceptionally hard on with him. That's why he was so good at the frame. However, for distance, grip starts to fatigue. So I still think he'll be great. He's so quick across the floor, but there's potential for other athletes to beat him on this event. It's not as good for him as, say, a sprint.
So event number 3 is the Power Medley, which is a yoke run into a dumbbell ladder, which is a weird combination that we've seen before from Arnold/Rogue competitions, especially at the Rogue Invitational. Obviously, they've done the yoke into the log press.
I think this is going to be really tough.
I think so too.
Because the dumbbells are heavy.
And the yoke's heavy too. So
the yoke is heavy, but the dumbbells are exceptionally heavy after doing the yoke.
Yeah.
And I think for anyone that struggles on the yoke and, is under that weight for a good amount of time, their legs are going to be like jelly. And you need a lot of leg power when it comes to the dumbbells. I mean, we're talking about, for the men, the final dumbbell is 130 kilos.
Yeah.
That's massive on its own.
Yeah.
So to do that at the end of a dumbbell, I really don't think anyone's going to get that.
I'd be surprised.
I love love being proven wrong, and these athletes always constantly, surprise us. But that is hard.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I think it's probably going to come down to maybe the first 2 dumbbells. And also if you can get through that yoke quickly and you're fresher, certainly someone like Mitch who can really kind of eat up the yoke as quickly as possible, it doesn't tend to take as much out of your body because you're not under that weight for as long.
Yeah.
I'm interested to watch this on the women's side of things.
Well, the women have a 300 kilo yoke before they get to the dumbbell. Now, we've got some incredible dumbbell lifters in the mid-weight women in this competition, but how are they going to be feeling after the 300 kilo
yoke is going to take a lot out of them.
Yeah.
So, even if you're a great dumbbell presser, if that yoke has taken too much out of you, I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
No, and I believe the weights for the women's are 55 kilos, 65, and then 75 kilo dumbbells.
That 75 is going to be hard. We saw that last weekend. 75 kilos is hard on its own.
Yeah.
So to do that at the end of it, tough event. I enjoyed the yoke into the log at the Rogue Invitational a few years back. I'm looking forward to seeing how the athletes cope with this one.
Event number 4 is the David Webster Memorial Weight Throw for Height. Now, the men's weights are £56 for the bag, and the women's is 28. The bag does not go up in weight, but
it's
the height
a traditional
goes up.
weight for height. So,
yes.
Dave Webster obviously unfortunately passed away, and this is about honouring him as an event. One of the figureheads of strength sport over the last 50, 60 years, done so much for Strongman, Highland Games, and the Arnolds want to put this event in for him. And there is no better when it comes to throwing than Thor Bjornsson.
No, 100%. This is definitely Thor's event to lose.
He is the world record holder in weight for height.
He is.
As you say, it's his event to lose. He's got height, he's got explosive power and experience on this. I look forward to seeing Gav Bilton on it. I think he can do very, very well. Mitch Hooper's been training it hard. I think he'll score good points. But honestly, it's going to be extremely hard for anyone to beat Thor on this one.
Yeah, so the way they're doing this event, once it's the athlete's turn to come out, they've got 60 seconds and they're allowed 3 attempts in that time. So after that, if they can't get it, it's over and they have to move on. They are allowed to skip heights as well, which I don't know that many people are going to do.
No, we'll see on the day. I mean, it depends where they're starting. Thor might decide to miss a few. Also, I should point out Maxime is a very good thrower.
Maxime's a great thrower.
I'm almost dismissing Maxime because of his injury.
I know.
If he's fully fit, there's some good events in this for Maxime, so he could cause people problems. I just hope he is fully fit. And Sam's actually a very good thrower as well.
Yeah, Sam Bellevue. She is very good, and as is Hannah Lindsay.
Yeah.
So I imagine Inez is a great thrower too.
She's high, tall, explosive.
Yeah, Rebecca Roberts is a good thrower.
Rebecca's going to be good. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one though.
The final event on Sunday is the Super-Rep Deadlift for reps. So for the men, this is going to be a 350 kilo deadlift, and for the women, it's 227.5 kilos. So some usual Rogue rules apply, or Arnold's rules.
The deadlift.
They're finishing with the deadlift.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
You don't often see competitions finish on a deadlift.
No, it's strange, isn't it?
I wonder how that will change things depending on where people are placed.
Well, yeah, and where people, how people are feeling after doing the other 4 events as well, especially for the guys that did the competition 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's the usual rules apply. So they're not allowed deadlift suits, briefs, or figure of 8 straps. It's a 60-second time limit as well.
Yeah, and we've got some great deadlifters. Obviously, we've mentioned Rauno. He's coming back from an injury, we should point out. He had, surgery on his knee.
It was, yeah. He had his knees cleaned out straight after OSG last year.
And he's not quite back to his best. He's focusing on having a huge deadlift later in the year. But knowing Rauno, he'll want to do very well on this one.
He will.
Because, like I said, the other events aren't amazing for Rauno, and this is where he can really pull himself into some kind of contention and earn himself some prize money, I guess, is what he's there to do. Bobby Thompson's deadlift looks fantastic right now. Mitch Hooper's deadlift's looking very solid. Thor Bjornsson looked incredible. His deadlifting, he deadlifted 1,000 pounds like a warm-up a few weeks back. So he's not really even gone to the point of taxing himself to the limit.
No.
I think his deadlift strength will be fairly fresh, and he'll need to win this deadlift, I think, if he wants a chance of winning overall.
And on the women's side of it, obviously Andrea's a great deadlifter. I'm excited to see Angelica because we saw her do the deadlift and I feel like she left so much there. She chose her 3 weights, They
Reps
look really
isn't it?
easy.
Reps, you
yeah.
just got to go all the way out there.
Yeah.
But again, can you see past Lucy on a deadlift?
No, of course not. We've got
Lucy
Lucy
Underdown,
in this
the
competition.
record holder now in the elephant bar. She's record holder in the standard bar.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting her to do whatever she needs to do to take the win on this event. However, it'll be interesting to see where everyone's placed overall coming into the deadlift, because if an athlete is allowed to be in a position where they can take it easier, they may well do, because especially for the men's side of things, there's lots of big competitions coming up
really
now.
is,
and
yeah.
The Strongman season is about to get super busy. Great events though, 5 tough events. I think it's going to be good to watch. Nice variety in the events, and hard to predict how people will do. Just being consistent could be very important. I mean, Bobby's in good shape right now. He surprised people, I think, at the Arnold's Ohio, and I think these events are slightly better for him.
Yeah.
He's not a bad thrower. There's nothing like Bobby's an amazing log presser. He's an amazing deadlifter. Then everything else in this competition, he's solid at. So as long as he can get points, I think he can do really well. Gav Bilton has been focused on this show. Lucas Hatton has been focused on this show. We saw how good Thor was with, the comeback. There is the element of the pressing. Is the log a bit more comfortable for him? Does the dumbbell cause him problems on the yoke? That's the 2 questions with Thor. And then Mitch, we know Mitch is just very good at pretty much everything these days.
Yeah.
Certainly beatable on events, but he's hard. It's hard to ever see Mitch dropping major points.
Yeah.
And I guess Maxime is the big question. What kind of shape is he in?
Yeah, but in good shape. These are actually really decent events.
Much better than Ohio was.
Yeah, 100%. And on the women's side, it's a tricky one on the women's side. Like, Lucy's got some great events. She's a great thrower as well. But I don't know how something like the yoke into dumbbells going to suit her. Or
I think the women's show could be
farmers.
really, really good.
I think it's going to be tight.
You look at all the events, and I think there's so many athletes that could chop and change and cause problems for each other. That is going to be a real battle, and picking a winner on the women's side is extremely difficult.
Yeah, really hard.
Right, Auntie Liz, where can people watch and when?
So the most important information, obviously, is how to watch. So this is not being streamed to the Rogue Fitness YouTube channel. It is only available to watch on the Arnold Sports website. I'm going to include a link in the video description, and I'm going to pin one in the comments below so you can find it easy. What you have to do is click on the link, enter your information, and then you will be sent a link to watch it on the stream.
Very confusing.
I've done it myself. I did it just to sort of beta test it, I guess, if you like. But then if you scroll down, once you get that link sent to you and you click on it, if you scroll down, you can see the information. The stream starts at 11 a.m. both days. Now, this isn't a Rogue stream, so there is no Rogue desk or commentary or anything like that.
It's just
important
a live
to know.
feed, isn't it?
It's quite a raw feed.
I will be doing the emceeing.
You're going to be on the mic along with Dr. Bill Crawford.
Yep. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear what we're saying.
Hear something, yeah.
But essentially it's just a raw feed, so you'll be able to see what's going on. We will have updates after.
Yeah, we're going to be there filming, posting videos as well. But the feed starts at 11 a.m. both days. I would try not to be late, just because with there being no desk show or anything like that, I think it's going to be quite quick into the action of the show.
Cool. Right, guys, that is all the information for the Arnold UKs. Hope you enjoy the show this weekend. Make sure you check out our videos that will go out next week, and let us know your thoughts as always.